Yep, it's your boy Los. Let's get it.
My vision blurry.
It's getting harder to see.
Vision blurry.
Try not to worry.
My vision blurry.
Just gotta trust you, Lord. Yo. Cause if I ain't got that on my back, then am I really Stract? Am I really that dude that I portray, put on display? I wonder what my shadow would say if the light shined hard enough to shatter the clay and my insides was outside. What would they outcry?
Alright, so talking to y'all today about the homie Stract's latest album, the Warmup. It's labeled Stract and Abstract, and to be honest with you, I don't know who Abstract is. My bad. I'm assuming and I'm hoping it's the producer or maybe the DJ on the album. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that's who it is. But I don't, off the top of my head, I don't think I know who that is. But I definitely want to know who that is. This is Stract's second album. First album was Mirrors and Windows, or Windows and Mirror, one of the two. Dropped out. I think that was off of Christ-Centric's label. I don't know. This one here just said on iMusic, just said Stract. So I don't know if this is his own label, his own thing, or he just put it out himself. I'm not exactly sure how it went down, but I know from what I saw that it's not under Christ-Centric or Wrath and Grace, which was a little shocking. But nevertheless, though, dropped the album a couple days ago, and I haven't been able to put it down since. Man, this was, you know, it was scary. I'm not gonna lie, right? Because you always hear the story about the sophomore curse. So you know, if his first album was banging, I did my review on that. If you missed that, join Reform Bars on Facebook. Check it out. Dope review, dope album. Super dope album actually. But and so the first album to me was amazing, dope album, and I was nervous I didn't know he was even working on the second one. I thought he was doing something, but I wasn't sure. And so then when I heard, man, the album dropped, I'm like, ugh, I got a little nervous because a lot of cats can't really duplicate what they did on the first album, you know, or the success per se, quote unquote, from the first album. And so I was nervous, but man, praise God, this album is a phenomenal album. It's phenomenal in a different way than you would assume, and let me explain. So the first album, okay, let me back up. So on the first Romans project, I had said, and I reviewed the whole album, but his song in particular, I heard him on some features. We do 16 bar challenges on the Facebook page, and I had said that I was a fan of him through the challenges, right? And I was like, man, I really wanted to hear like his album or his own stuff. And so when he dropped the song on the Romans, the Volume 1, I loved the song, what he was saying, but the production was like, to me. It was good production. It just wasn't what I expected, because he has that East Coast gritty, you know, voice about him, right? I love the East Coast style, and I just was like, man, this is dope. And I figured he was going to come out the door with some gritty East Coast production and so on and so forth, and he didn't. It was kind of a disco party type joint. That just kind of threw me for a loop. Still, it was a dope beat, you know what I'm saying, dope song overall, but just wasn't what I anticipated to hear from him, right? And so he dropped his own album, or his first album. Production was good in that too, man. Shout out to the homie Will. I think Carl's a bunch of cats on there, cats that I truly respect. But it just wasn't, although it was dope, and don't take this wrong, fellas, real talk. Dope production, dope album as a whole, just a dope album. I didn't fall in love with the production because I didn't feel like it some songs fit him, a lot of songs actually fit him, but I still wanted more. I guess I was being greedy, I don't know, but I wanted more. I wanted to hear just some more dopeness from him in production wise, right? Lyrically, he kills it. Lyrically, man, praise God, he's a beast on with the pen and pad in the booth. Probably freestyle too, but I just wanted more in production, right? But that's where this album here comes in at, where it's the like I talk all the time about the beautiful marriage between the production and the lyrics, and I feel like that marriage was definitely done on this album here. You get that DJ scratch, and you get that boom bap, you get that deep production. This kind of album here, I feel that if I played it for KRS-One, if I knew KRS-One, or if I knew Eric Sermon, or if I knew BD, anybody from, you know, just anybody from like the heart of East Coast, right? And I say, yo, check this album out. I feel that they could vibe to this album and just be engulfed in it and fall in love with this album, because not only is the production dope, the lyrics is dope. I wish this album would have came first before Windows and Mirrors. Only because, like I said, this is the one that I've been begging for, right? I've been begging for this kind of album here, and he drops it. I wish it would have came first. It's not a over theological album. It's going to be straight with you, right? Don't get it twisted. It's definitely Christ-centered. Definitely, glorify the Lord. It's beautiful in its sense, but it's not overly theological. It's more hip-hop driven. I viewed it like this here. So Windows and Mirrors to me was like an album for the church, right? A lot of songs on the album there was about, basically his own struggles and just how he's encouraging the Lord, how the Lord's, pushing him through everything, and how basically saints, you be encouraged as well. And the Lord is awesome, the Lord is gracious, and, just rest in the Lord and the beauty of the Lord and so on and so forth, right? Which is all beautiful things, right? But those are the only things that the church can actually relate to, right? I feel like this album here is more street driven, more evangelistic driven, right? This album here to me seems to be the kind of album you could take to a backpack type dude and say, yo, check this, and he could not only enjoy the beats but definitely follow on with the lyrics. But like I said, it's not an overly theological album, but it's definitely Christ-centered. So an individual, a person who knows the text and a person who don't know the text, can listen to this album here and beyond a shadow of a doubt know that Christ is supreme and know that Christ is ruler of all, while at the exact same time they can feel the dope hip-hopness of this album, if that makes any sense. So I think he did a great job with it, man. One song in particular, I like all the songs on the album. Actually, maybe there might be one I think I'll get to that in a second. But one song in particular that he tricked me on. I don't think he did on purpose, but it made me automatically think about Biggie. Biggie did on his first album, Ready to Die, song called Back in the Day, and the song called, I think, Put in Work, or I think it's Put in Work. It starts off the drums, dun 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 dun, and when I first heard it, right, immediately I said, oh, he's gonna I thought he was gonna do like a throwback or a tribute, to that Biggie song. Except he didn't. He made it his own, which was banging. But immediately the way the drums came in on it, if you go back to that Biggie song, and I went back and I checked it out again. They're not exactly the same, but it's enough to the point where it got me super hyped for no apparent reason. It's just dope, man. This album reminds me of R. Swift's Revolutionary theme music, and that Revolutionary theme music to me is in my top 10, maybe top 15, but we'll say top 12 albums of all time. R. Swift just beautifully did that album, like glorified the Lord, while at the same time DJ Essence on the productions just was phenomenal, and it's just a dope East Coast driven album, right? Well, this album here to me is the exact same. It's a dope East Coast driven album, and I just love the way he took the time to carve the images about Christ while using dope East Coast slang with dope production. Just phenomenal job, homie. Real talk. And I'm not saying it because I'm one of your biggest fans. I'm saying it because it's the truth, bro. Just a dope album. I love how same thing I said on the first album. Say the same thing. I try to keep it 100 regardless. There's a lot of mention of secular artists. Once again, I ain't got a problem with them. I like it. But a lot of mention of secular artists. A lot of mention of But it's. I love how he's using those secular artists and using even their lyrics or their titles or whatever, and flipping it for the glory of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Slight issue only because he makes reference. I forgot what song. Sorry, I meant to remember that song, but he makes reference about basically not driving when what you're bumping in your system should glorify the Lord. Basically on those levels there. But it's one of those kind of things, like almost contradictory, where it's like, yeah, and you're right, but you're talking about, you bring up a lot of secular artists, which kind of make my mind go back to them and want to hear them songs again. So it's one of those. It's almost. I don't know where I want to use, but basically, it's not. I don't think it's contradicting himself, but at the same time, it's just weird. Okay, it's weird where you're not trying to be focused on the secular and trying to stay focused on the holy, but then he's bringing up secular, if that makes any sense. But anyways, I don't want to get on that. But Dope album, dope album. The only, if I had anything that put a bad taste in my mouth, anything bad to say, was the intro. Love the intro. I think he killed it as usual, but he plays, I think he's doing the hype man, right? I didn't like the hype man part, because I kind of felt for a split millisecond, right, like he was trying to bring, like, not that he was trying, but he was bringing attention to himself and his lyrics and how dope he is as an MC, right? I felt like he was doing that when it's not his style, but it felt like I felt like for a split millisecond he was being prideful about how dope he is as an MC, because at he did some, I think I'm nitpicking, and I'll take that. And he probably shaking his head like, yeah, you are, but it's fine, I'll take that. I mean, if this is the only bad thing I can say about it, then all right. But the very last quote unquote, hype part, he repeats one of his bars, which is a dope bar, by the way, but he repeats it and is like, yo, this is crazy type joint. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that almost sounded prideful, almost sounded like, yo, I'm look how dope I am lyrically. But I think, a lot of it has to do with that East Coast swag, Corey Red, Andy Mineo standpoint it basically, but talking about just, I'm not cocky, just the East Coast in me, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but basically that's what it was. And I think that pretty much is just something, Cross Movement dealt with that in their own way. They were cocky, slightly cocky about how dope they were lyrically. You know what I'm saying? Even Evangel on the very last Romans project, the compilation, he when he said iPhone, watch, face, watch, unlock, then he went back and did the Fred the Godson type thing, when he goes back and repeats it and breaks it down to you what he just said and blows your mind. You know what I'm saying? And so Abs kind of did the same. Straps kind of did the same on this album here with that intro and a couple other songs in the world, and a couple other songs. The album, he's basically saying, I'm what the game is missing, kind of ordeal. And it could be perceived prideful. I don't. It's the East Coast. You know what I mean? It's just, if you don't know nothing about that, you just don't know about that, and you just receive it the wrong way. But at the end of the day, overall, just a dope album. The kind of album, like I said, I could take this album literally to anybody from the block, from East Coast or wherever, probably just anybody in general, and play this album and they would bob their head to. Like, it's the kind of album where I didn't want to do a review to it because I don't want to stop listening to it. Like, I just got off work and I'm like, yo, I'm heading to the gym, let me push play real quick, but like, I got this review. So it's like, I want to get into this album. I love almost every part of this album. I think he just did an amazing job, man. Amazing job of glorifying the Lord. Amazing job of putting Christ first. And I know he's a busy dude, man. I know he owns a restaurant, and he got family, and he just, a lot going on. But for him to take the time out to make an album such as this, take my hat off to him, man. And if Abstract is the producer, fam, where you been? Like, and if you've been around for a minute and I missed you, please forgive your boy. Just a dope MC, man, dope MC, but a dope producer. I love the DJ scratch. It brought me back, man. It made me reminisce on back when I first fell in love with East Coast hip hop, man. Just, I love the production. wasn't overwhelming, but it just was still dope. And man, it's a dope album, man. I definitely encourage you guys to go cop it. Yeah, there's probably more I can say, but it's gonna all pretty much end up with me saying it's dope. You know what I'm saying? If I had anything negative to say other than what I said about the intros, it'd just be nitpicking. It's hard to find an album that completes what you've been looking for, and this is definitely one of them. This album here will go into the vault. Now, I don't know why it took so long for us to get this. It's none of my business, but he can only really go higher from this. Like, he can only go up higher. Yeah, man, I praise God for you, fam. Real talk. Yeah, dope album. It is available for streaming. I did stream it, only because payday's tomorrow. But I do plan on buying it. That's just real. Because you got to support the homie, man. I can't say that about everybody. I just can't. But support the homie. Another little thing I would throw out. Hey, sorry. Don't mean to make a long video or longer, as I seem to do a lot. I was thinking, okay, so I was playing the thing back, listening, and I messed up. the song that I said that had that Biggie part at the beginning was called That Music. And that's actually, I have 2, maybe 3 favorite songs on the album, and it's I think it's Side Lean, That Music, and was it Memories or something like that? It's like second song from the last. Just amazing joints. But the song the reason why I love That Music so much is because I feel like Stract was just really mad, right? I could just see him in the booth, like Strat's the kind of guy that I could see like sitting at home watching, flipping through the channels, and he'll see like some hip hop stations, like, all right, I'm gonna check it out, and he sees some dude with tight jeans or mumble rap get on, and he just hear cats, bro, yo, this cat is dope, and I can see him getting upset and frustrated, just like, you know what I'm saying? These cats are getting so much love and respect, and I feel like That Music was made out of frustration. Like that song, That Music, was made out of like his way of just saying, I'm gonna do a battle rap, because he names Kodak Black and he names Lil Pump and some, I think Lil Uzi or whatever. He names names. Now he didn't battle rap names. I want to make that clear, but he did say, yo, basically this ain't them dudes there. If you want them dudes, go holler at them dudes. This is some real dudes here, and man, it's just a dope song, man. But it's a hip hop oriented kind of album with Christ centeredness in it. But this song, though, that song is a hip hop, is basically just telling them boys there, man, to go back where you came from. This is that real rap right here. And then Lean just, boy got bonkers with it, man. Just a dope album, man. I'm sorry, man. It's 8 songs, 30 minutes long, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny, right? I normally complain about the 8-minute or the short little EP type joints. I feel like this, although 8 minutes and 30 seconds, or 8 songs and 30 minutes, I feel like I was complete. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got to track 8 and it started over, I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of the first albums that was mad short that I wasn't mad it was short. I'm mad that it was over, but I felt like he spit hard enough, and I felt like the production came hard enough, and I felt like his content was dope enough and deep enough that I left full. Like, all right, poof, man, that was a good meal. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes any sense now. So I hate the fact, like I said, that this is a short album, but I love the fact that it's short, but it's right to the point. Christ is king, salvation is needed, but also hip hop is live and still never dead. Bad mumble raps are killing hip hop. He went Ice-T on him. Basically, man, I'm sorry. Like I said, if I keep saying, I'm gonna keep saying it's a dope album, because it's a dope album. He did his thing, man. Shout out to the homie, man, for real. But yeah. And I hope I understood when I said it's not a deep theological album, although it's very theological. It's just not as deep as, I think, Windows and Mirrors was way deeper, theologically wise, than this album here was. But the emphasis is still the same. Christ is king, and salvation is needed, and hell is real. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. Grace.